So before I start my video, I would just like to say I am not trying to judge the tribe in our required reading. I cannot pronounce their name, so I'm going to refer to them as tribe, but I'm not trying to judge any of their rituals or anything that they do. I'm merely giving my reaction to the article along with explaining question 1. Speaking of required readings, let's talk about that. My first reaction was this tribe sounds like something straight out of a crazy cult video game. After all, the article did mention that in this culture, it is common to have magic potions and magic charms and even a witch doctor, which is very different in comparison to American culture. While the tribe's culture and American culture might seem different at a first glance, there actually are quite a few similarities between the two. One of the similarities that I noticed while reading the article was between the holy mouth man of the tribe's culture and a dentist of American culture. Both of them specialize in teeth and different rituals, while the holy mouth man for the tribe instead will do very different, is the right word, things to patients' teeth, such as drill holes into their teeth. A dentist instead will take care of a patient's teeth and clean them. But still, in concept, they're the same thing. Just our cultures have told us different things on how to maintain oral hygiene. One last thing I'd like to mention about American culture versus our tribal culture would come down to the tribal culture is basically American culture at its most primitive state. Right now, American culture has so many technological advancements and years of research to back up why we do so many things, like going to the dentist. We have studied the best oral hygiene to make our teeth and just the overall care of our mouths last until our 80s and 90s. In comparison, the tribal culture doesn't have any of that. But if American culture didn't have all this research and science to back it up, and we made our culture go back down to its most primitive state, where we didn't have any of this information like the tribe, we would be probably much more similar in our two cultures. Now, just like every other culture, American culture has its own rituals or events that take place once every single year. And one of the biggest events of the year is about to happen in our culture. Now, what's that event, you're asking? It's time for the spooky season. It's time for the black cats, the pumpkins, the witches, and the candy. It's Halloween. Go on. One of the most important things about Halloween is getting to dress up as a character of your choice. I am currently not dressed up for the occasion, but whoa! Am I all of a sudden a video game character?
The character I am dressed up as is Ahri from League of Legends. She is a mythical fox character.
So, what exactly is Halloween? Halloween is an event that takes place once a year on October 31st. Children will get to dress up as a character of their choice and participate in an event called trick-or-treating. What is trick-or-treating, though?
So basically, you get a pail of some kind or pillowcase, go up to random people's doors, ring their doorbell. If they answer the door, you ask them trick or treat, and because of that, they'll give you a lot of candy, dump it in your pail, and then you rinse and repeat to the next house.
Now it's time to gather around as I tell you the history of Halloween. Now, any information I'm about to say originally comes from the Smithsonian Magazine and from an article on History.com explaining the history of Halloween as well. If you'd like to read either of those sources, please look in the description below. The information will be linked there. Halloween was an event that started 2,000 years ago in Celtic cultures. Now, Celtic culture is originally from the most northern parts of Europe, such as Denmark, Norway, Sweden. The Celtics, instead of calling it Halloween, would call it the Solheim Festival. The Solheim Festival took place at the end of October and the beginning of November. And this event had the purpose of people dressing up as creepy Celtic demons, not mythical fox ladies, with the intention of getting rid of unwanted Celtic spirits and demons. Again, I don't really think this is what they would wear during that time. So... Roar! I'm an ancient ghost demon thing! I may not be an accurate representation of what a Celtic demon would look like. The point still stands that at this festival, demons and ghosts and haunted spirits will be chased away by children at the festival. Now, this did change eventually. In the 19th century, Christianity made its way up to the Celtic regions. And because of this, once Christianity and the Celtic cultures mixed together, a new holiday was invented based off of the Samhain festival. It was called Souls Day. It's very similar to Samhain festival, but just a little bit tweaked. Soul Day was now used to honor the dead instead of chasing away horrible monsters and demons.
Also, people would now dress up as angels and demons.
I didn't plan far enough in advance. I don't really have a devil or angel costume, so we're stuck with the non-Celtic monster. So when did Halloween actually become what American culture celebrates today? Sometime during the 1920s and the 1950s, Halloween finally took a form much similar to what we have today. Now, it is worth mentioning that there is no specific date given when Halloween officially became Halloween. There was no year in history when it was written down that Old Souls Day was now called Halloween and had to be on October 31st. So when did trick-or-treating actually become irrelevant to the holiday of Halloween? In the 1920s and the 1950s, vandalism was a very big problem in America, especially during Halloween. Because of this, adults pushed heavily in the marketing of Halloween that children would ask for trick or treats. So is Halloween actually better now in comparison to the Samhain festival? I think it is. I'm not the only person who thinks Halloween is an important holiday. According to Berkeley Magazine, one of the reasons Halloween is so much fun is because we have such a unique event with our friends and family. What they're trying to say is there's no other event in American culture that has children dressing up in costumes and going around with their friends and asking for candy. We have no other celebration like that. I think it's a much better improvement in comparison to just some festival. I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching my video. Again, if you'd like to read any of the resources that I used, please take a look in the description below. Their link will be there. And I wish everyone a great day and have a happy Halloween.